This video, we're going to talk about the most unappreciated Raven. Most of them are starters. We're going to start right now.
Renegade.
What up, guys? My name is Sunny. Welcome to szg.sports. We haven't done a video that is not live in a while, but hey, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification button so you can stay up to date with anything we do, right? We do live streams, we do recorded videos. Haven't done an Orioles video, that's coming soon, and then we have Wizards too. So anyway, I was thinking, off season is here, draft, and you guys know how into the draft I was. I was thinking, like, what is the next video? I know. Let's make a video about what is the most unappreciated Raven. And I have a couple, and I was like, okay, so let me start with notable mention. This is our three guys that used to be in the Ravens. They're not here anymore, but when they were in the Ravens, I thought they were very unappreciated. And let's start with the obvious one, Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, a guy that was a staple before. I guess people don't remember how bad the quarterback situation was before Joe Flacco. And we had McNair. There was a couple good years with McNair, but before that, it was just Ravens really didn't have a good quarterback. Reason why Flacco, early in his career, he started breaking all the Ravens records for quarterback. So Joe Flacco, I thought it was unappreciated. Now, that doesn't mean we shouldn't have moved from him, but I think it was due when they did it, but I'm talking about years before that. Flacco was never really super appreciated, although when Lamar started, we had like a political divide in the Baltimore Ravens fan base. Anyway, that was my first one. Second honorable mention, Weddle. A guy that, again, before Weddle came, after Reed, we had like a purgatory of safeties. No really good safety was here. And Weddle became that like captain in the backfield, although he wasn't great, but the appreciation that I have for him having a staple, right? Stabilizing that safety position. I thought it was good, his work. Again, he was due by the time that he left, but the years before that, it was like, even when he got here, it wasn't like appreciated how much he worked. He had a couple really good years. Last year wasn't great, but before that, he had a couple good years. So that was my number two honorable mention. Last one, Mosley. Mosley, I think it was because we came from Ray Lewis, beast of a middle linebacker, the best middle linebacker in history. Then we had a couple decent middle linebackers. Mosley was a first round pick, and I think the flag that Mosley gets is that was the Odell Beckham Jr. Draft, right? That was the Zach Martin draft, and that's a bunch of other receivers, right? That year they went drafted. Mosley was a really, really, really good middle linebacker, but people, I don't know, they expected more. I always say, tell me what middle linebackers are better in coverage. Maybe one, maybe two at best. He's really good in space and zone. He attacks and tackles well. He wasn't the greatest in man. I give you that. But people were just bashing Mosley in the last couple of years. I didn't understand why. I wouldn't pay the 17 mil. So I'm not criticizing the Ravens for not bringing him back. I'm just talking about us, the fan base. We never took Mosley and embraced how good he was. So anyway, all three honorable mention, they're not in this team anymore, so that's why I didn't want to put him in the next five. I think I have six. This six, I feel like, I don't know why we give them too much flag. Well, I have a couple of reasons why, but players that we have been lucky either to have or for X amount of years, or players that are good right now, for some reason we don't see it. Let me start with Brandon Carr. Used Carr, as some people like to call him. Underappreciated. A guy that has performed really well since he's become in Baltimore, right? He's our third corner right now, but a guy that doesn't get hurt, I don't even know how. He doesn't get hurt. Dude must have vibranium in his bones and his ligaments. I'm not sure what this dude have. He doesn't get hurt. Dude is super durable, performs well. Yeah, he's not a top safety. I'm not talking he's a top 10, but performance is really good. His contract is really reasonable for his performance. One of your two top safeties, or not safety, corners goes down. There you go, Carr. Step up. You might have a small dip. That's it. Super durable. When you need a breather for one of your safety, he's there. And the reality is he plays a lot because the Ravens like to rotate the player. So use Carr, Brandon Carr, a guy that doesn't give the much love that he deserves. He is a guy that I like a lot, and I thought it was a great move for the Ravens to bring him when they brought him. And good mentor for Marlon. And, Jimmy Smith does get hurt, so fits right in. That brings me to my second unappreciated guy, Jimmy Smith. Now, I understand the Jimmy Smith more than the Brandon Carr. The Brandon Carr, really, I don't get why it's not as much appreciation for him. Jimmy Smith has a big contract, has gotten suspended, and gets hurt a lot. So that's not good, but when he's there, he performs well. Jimmy Smith was a guy that I thought they were going to cut this year because of his contract. And when you talk about somebody getting cut because a contract is one thing, when you think he is a bum, that's another. Jimmy Smith is not a bum. When he's on the field, he plays really well. Health is an issue. Suspension is what really gets me mad because that's just him being dumb. But getting hurt, sometimes we can't control that. And Jimmy Smith is a guy that, think about it, when we have him and Brandon Carr and Marlon Humphreys there, damn, we have one of the top 5 corners, secondaries in the league. So Jimmy Smith is really, really good, has been on our team for a while. Think about before Jimmy Smith, we have Webby. But after that, we had never had another corner to go besides Jimmy Smith. Webby was up and down. Webby also got hurt a lot. He was more of a slot guy. But once Marlon got there, then we're like, oh, Jimmy, whatever, right? So in the past couple of years, I felt like Jimmy hasn't gotten the love that he should. Again, he has done dumb things, and I'm not saying don't criticize him, but unappreciated. Again, that's 2 corners. We have been lucky in the past 2 years with that secondary. Okay, staying on the theme of the secondary, Mr. Tony Jefferson. Jefferson is a player that is one of my favorites in the Ravens. And talk about somebody that is not appreciated by the fan base. Tony Jefferson, in my opinion, is one of the top box, strong, whatever you want to call him, safeties in the league. Yeah, he's not a free safety. He's not a guy that is going to patrol that middle of the field. You know what he does? He explodes to the receiver. He explodes to the runner. And he brings him down. And he punished them. He, like tackling wise, this dude is legit. And the other thing is, on coverage, he's there with the receivers. He's limited in size. I saw him against KC. Yeah, Kelsey made the completion against it. Tony was there to bring him down. Tony couldn't compete on the height-wise, but it wasn't like he made Kelsey had just an easy catch. He did everything right, and then he brought him down. Tony Jefferson is a really, really good safety, strong safety. That doesn't get enough love in here. Again, leader in the locker room, strong voice, clean, doesn't get in trouble. If you catch the ball near him, you know he's going to bring you down. You know he's going to punish you. One of my favorite plays last year was against McDonald. He talked all this crap, strips fumble from Tony. But not only that, it's just, if you go back and watch his tape, he's always looking to make the right play. Rarely you see a missed tackle from Tony Jefferson. Again, another guy that is really underappreciated for the Ravens. Okay, so secondary, done. I feel like our secondary is really good, and we give a lot of love to the secondary, but if you ask people, they give a lot of love to Marlon Humphrey, and they should love Marlon Humphreys. And now you will see for Earl Thomas, but before that, the love was on Humphreys, and then Jimmy Smith, 50-50 from the fan base. Brandon Carr, I will say 20% appreciate Brandon Carr, And Weddle, I would say like 30% appreciated Weddle. And then for Tony, I don't know why, I would say like the 70% or 30% only appreciate Tony Jefferson. Okay, so secondary done. Let me just move forward. Ronnie Stanley. We think about the draft when he drafted, and I know everybody wanted Ramsey. I wanted Ramsey. I'm not gonna lie. And when we drafted Stanley, I was a little disappointed. But you know what? Best decision they made. Our secondary right now is still really, really good. And yeah, would you take Ramsey? Of course you will take Ramsey. But look at the league, how bad offensive linemen are. Across the board, the offensive line is pretty bad. The offensive line play. Stanley, staple left tackle, super young, plays hurt. This dude is super tough. He's hurt, shoulder, arm, doesn't matter. He goes there, he performs, he battles. It's not like the AFC North is a cakewalk on the D lineman. D lineman in the AFC North is tough. This dude holds his own. Help Flacco, and it's gonna help Lamar. I'm happy that we have a young left tackle for 10 plus years. But appreciation is not there. I remember I feel like people appreciated more Big Mac than they did with Stanley, which I don't get. I truly don't get. Stanley is a legit left tackle. Tried to trade it. I'm sure we can get a first round for Stanley. I'm sure. But would you trade it? I wouldn't. Who are you going to put there? Are you going to get a Lamar kill? Again, look at the left tackle play. It's not easy. And I see all the love for Zeus Jr. And sure, there should be love. He played really good as a third rounder. Great. But Stanley, man, he's still on a rookie deal. He's going to his 4th year. Still growing. And dude is a beast. I love Stanley. He's one of the jerseys that I have. I think the dude is really, really good. Again, another guy unappreciated for the fan base. This guy, man, Brandon Williams. Another guy that is a beast. Think about not last year, the year before. He missed 4 games, I think it was. Those 4 games, teams were just running all over the Ravens. We still have Michael Pierce in those games. And I'm not saying Michael Pierce is not a great player. Michael Pierce gets a lot of love from the fan base. But I think the problem with Brandon Williams is his contract. But the problem that I have with the fans is, like, if you want to criticize the contract, the fact that he's making all this in caps, he's eating all this cap, I understand that. I understand that we drafted 2 guys that could be the potential replacement for him. And because of the cap hit, he's going to be a cap casualty, not this year, next year. The reality is Brandon Williams an anchor on that D-line. Him and Pierce are amazing. Protect the teams. Protect those middle linebackers. Help Mosley. It will help Peanut this year, especially with undersized middle linebackers. Kenny Young, which I love, and Peanut. Those big boys, Brandon Williams and Pierce, they make the O-line not to go to the second level and protect those middle linebackers so they can come and make the play with the running back. Brandon Williams is so unappreciated. The dude is a beast. He comes and grinds. I'm happy he got his Pro Bowl last year. It was due. But the fan base, I think they see. I see it on Twitter a lot. I see it on Reddit a lot. Oh, maybe we signed the wrong guy. Well, first of all, when we saw we signed Brandon Williams, I think Pierce was coming into the team that year, so we didn't know what Pierce was gonna be. But again, you want to criticize the contract? That's fine. He does make a lot of money. Numbers, go check Pierce numbers. Go check Brandon Williams numbers. They're pretty much the same. That position is not a numbers position. They do all. If you see the middle linebacker having a great game, think those 2 boys. Brandon Williams and Pierce, both great players, but Brandon Williams specifically gets a lot of flack from the fan base. That dude that is really, really good, really, really tough. Love me some Brandon Williams. God, we've been lucky that we went from nada to this dude, and then now to Pierce. Hopefully the new 2 rookies can make the transition, and eventually probably we'll see Brandon Williams out of this team, but that doesn't mean you should not appreciate everything that he does right now. Okay, so final 2. The next one is a controversial one. I would say it's like a 60-40. So he's More people are embracing him, but it's Lamar Jackson. I still think I'm surprised at the quantity of people hating on Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is a super... I don't want to call him a super player. What he is a grinder. A guy that is not a 9-to-5 guy. A guy that is not just doing the bare minimum. He wants to get better. And he sparked the team. He will do anything to to win, right? He will put his body on the line. If he needs 5 yards, he needs to run it. He needs to push to the middle linebacker. He needs to stiff arm. He will do it. Yes, was he perfect? No, he wasn't perfect. Was you supposed to criticize him? But that doesn't mean you shouldn't embrace him. He took this team that it was not on the playoffs right at that moment to a really good run that, in theory, if we would have won against KC, we would have been a 3rd seed. Right? And then we wouldn't see the Chargers again. And God knows what would have happened. Lamar Jackson is the reason we were in the playoffs last year. A guy that took us and really, really good. Passing game, he needs to get better. But you know what? He's been working all offseason. Decision making, he needs to get better. He has been working on that. Mechanics. This is what I want to see from my quarterback. Again, I don't understand why people are not appreciating. Go back and see. Baker Mayfield was a beast last year. Check the rest of the quarterback. Allen, Rosen, and the guy from the Jets, his name is escaping me. Darnold. All 3 struggled for a little, especially from the passing game. But Lamar was the only one that brought the team and made the team better. Of those 3. I don't understand the hate with Lamar. But anyway, that's another one, in my opinion, another unappreciated Raven. Last but not least, and I want to hear from you guys. If you agree, disagree, put comments below. But my last, the coach itself, Coach Harbaugh. Before that, my problem with Harbaugh is he's a little bit too loyal to his coordinators. But Harbaugh has brought stability to this team as well. Look how the Cleveland Browns are. Right? Harbaugh has only had 1 losing season in 12 years, roughly. Around there, 10 plus. 1 losing season. That is impressive. It's not easy to find a coach, guys. We think about, Belichick, Tomlin. Okay, those 2 have been there for a long time, and they have been successful. But look, John Harbaugh has a better record than Pete Carroll. Right? But you will think Pete Carroll is a better coach. Look, what Harbaugh did last year, he went and adapted the team completely from one offense to the other. Yeah, that was the old coordinator. But Harbaugh's the coach. Give the guy credit. He is a great manager, great leader. He has had this team in a stable position for years now. For years. I love Coach Harbaugh. Yeah, criticizing. I don't back down from any criticism. He should have been criticized when he needs to be criticized. In my opinion, especially keeping coordinators alone. But we talk about Harbaugh like he's a bum coach. Let him touch the free agent market, right? Let him be a free agent. Dude will get a job in a day. So, anyway, guys, that is my list. Do you agree with the list? You disagree with the list? Who would you put as a guy that is unappreciated, that you think should be noted more by the fan base? Do you hate any player on my list? Do you have notable mention people that have left, or people or players from the past that might not play? If you like this video, guys, please give it a thumbs up. We are near 350. You know what happens at 350? Giveaway video. So give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Follow me on Twitter, IG, Facebook, and obviously YouTube at szg.sports. I will see you next time, guys.